I woke up to miserable weather and an awaiting horde exactly where I'd left them. I needed to move them so I could pick them off one by one. I moved down the fence line and jumped over to draw their attention in. My plan was working. They moved straight for me. Hopefully I'd make this jump back. Now that they had moved, I decided to see if I could do any damage through the fence first. Nothing. So I head back down the fence line and jump over from a little bit further down. Once I landed on the other side of the fence again, it was immediately clear that I had got the attention of at least two, as they were heading straight for me. My plan was working out a lot better than I had originally thought. After I took out the first two, I moved on and slowly picked them off one by one. The bodies had been piling up over the last few days around my base, and I knew I was going to have to start disposing of them. I was first thinking of burying them, but each grave only fits 5 zombies, and it would just take up too much time and too much of a burden for me. So the only other option I had was to burn them. It was the most effective, it was the most efficient, but I didn't want to catch my base on fire either. So I needed to test this out. To make sure it didn't cause any issues, I had to move all the bodies into one spot, so I start gathering the bodies and put them in a pile near my base but far enough away that it shouldn't immediately cause an issue. Moving bodies had exhausted me. I decided to put the car back into the garage and call it a night. Before going to sleep though, I decided to research how to make a Molotov cocktail. Maybe this would be the best way to get the biggest spread for fire, but also it was the biggest risk. I needed to get some supplies and test this. The next morning I checked to see if any of the cars in the car park had some fuel. The little brown one had just enough to fill up one of the glass bottles. That, along with a ripped shirt from one of the corpses outside, I was able to craft the Molotov cocktail. I was too nervous to use it on the pile that I'd gathered on the side of the base. It was just a little bit too close. So I gathered the body from the small horde from earlier and put them up against the fence line. If there was a fire, at least I'd have some time to react. Nervously, I threw the Molotov, and the fire spread bigger than I expected it to. And for a second, it looked like the flames were about to lose control, so I started to cut some grass around the area. I probably should have done this first. But soon the fire died down and only seemed to focus on the bodies. That's exactly what I wanted. It was perfect. Now I knew it was safe to do. I was gonna have to use the other pile and start lighting the whole place up. But before I did that, I knew I was gonna attract a lot more zombies with the van that I had left behind. Using this opportunity, I decided to head back and go get it. Although I knew I was going to draw some numbers towards the base, I still decided to kind of head north, move away from everything and see if I could get the horde to kind of go in a different direction and lose them on the fence line. It went on a little bit further than I had originally anticipated, so I had to kind of go a little bit off-road. And like you could have guessed, van didn't do very well on off-road and eventually I got stuck. Luckily for me, reversing in this game seemed to not have the same negative effects. So I just reversed until I found a road. I knew I wasn't too far from the house, so looping back wasn't going to be too difficult. But as I was looping back, I noticed a very large fenced area. Did a little swing by the entrance gate and it kind of looked like a construction site. It was guarded by a large group of zombies, so I just decided to continue on, but I wanted to check this place out. Suddenly I was home and I didn't realize how close that construction site actually was. I was going to investigate this very soon, but there was a few followers that I had gathered with me. Nothing I hadn't faced before, but I was getting nervous when I was fighting. I was making silly mistakes. Lately I feel like I've just been pushing my luck and it's only a matter of time before that luck runs out. I added the bodies to the pile, getting ready for the burning. Then grabbed the van, got it inside, and headed to bed for the night. The next morning, the rain was heavy. There wasn't much to do today, so I decided to head to that construction site and maybe there was some tools or equipment that I could use. Bravely, I just decided to jump over the fence, and I was immediately greeted by a zombie staring at me through a trailer window. And a group of undead waiting for me around the corner that headed straight for me. I thought it best to climb back over and relocate and try again. This, however, came with its own set of issues. The undead jumping out from behind trees was definitely one of them, and for the fact that I was, again, making stupid mistakes. I was very close to dying a few times here. After it was clear again, I climbed over the fence to realize it was a lumber yard. But of course I was spotted climbing over by the undead group that I had just ran away from. I didn't get a chance to search anything before I was fighting again. Luckily it wasn't too many that had spotted me. The rain was getting a lot worse, so I grabbed a log and retreated home before the group arrived to me. Taking the skills I'd learned, I'd taken the log and cut it into 3 planks and thought, okay, maybe I could start fortifying this place a lot better. Putting up walls or something outside, something to stop the undead getting in every single time. It would be a long project, but it would be worth my safety in the end. Go grab some logs, turn them into planks, barricade the windows, barricade the doors. I could make this work. I could live here for a long, long time. Little did I know, it would all be too late. I had no control. My fate was already sealed.